The space station was big. It was bigger than anything Wu had ever seen. He stood near the window of his small ship and looked at the massive metal structure floating in the darkness of space. Lights blinked everywhere on its surface. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved around it like small fish around a whale. Wu took a deep breath. He was nervous. Today was the day humanity would meet the Galactic Council for the first time. Earth had received the invitation only 6 months ago. The message came from deep space. It said that humans were ready to join the bigger family of intelligent life in the universe. He was chosen as Earth's ambassador. Many people did not want this job. Meeting aliens was scary, but Wu was not afraid. He was curious. He wanted to see what was out there. He wanted to show the galaxy that humans were worth knowing. His ship slowly moved toward the docking area. Through the window, he could see other ships. Some were round like balls. Some were long like snakes. Some had shapes he could not describe. The aliens who built them must be very different from humans. The ship landed with a soft sound. Wu checked his uniform one more time. It was a simple dark blue suit with Earth's symbol on the chest. He was not wearing anything fancy. He believed in being honest and real. The door opened. He stepped out into a wide hallway. The ceiling was so high that he could not see where it ended. Strange lights floated in the air without any wires. The walls were made of some material that changed colors as he walked past. 2 aliens were waiting for him. They were tall and thin with gray skin. Their eyes were large and black. They did not have any hair. They wore white robes that touched the floor. "Welcome, human," one of them said. Its voice was flat and cold. "The council is waiting, follow us." Wu nodded and followed them. He noticed that they did not look at him. They kept their eyes forward. He wondered if all aliens were this unfriendly. They walked through many hallways and rooms. Wu saw aliens of all kinds. Some were short and round. Some had many arms. Some floated in the air. Some looked like animals from Earth but walked on 2 legs. None of them smiled at him. Most of them looked at him with something like disgust or pity. Finally, they reached a huge door. It was made of gold metal and had strange symbols on it. The door opened by itself, and Wu saw the council chamber. It was a round room with seats rising up in circles like a stadium. Hundreds of aliens sat in those seats, all looking down at the center of the room. That was where Wu had to stand. He walked to the center and stopped. A loud voice filled the room. "The Galactic Council welcomes the representative of Earth. You may speak, human." Wu looked around the room. He saw many faces watching him. Most of them did not look friendly. He could feel their judgment. They thought humans were nothing, just another small race from a small planet. But Wu smiled. He was not angry or scared. He understood why they felt this way. Humans were new. They had not done anything to earn respect yet. "Thank you for this chance," he said clearly. His voice was calm and strong. "I am Wu from Earth. I come here not to beg for your approval. I come here to introduce my people. We are young. We have much to learn. But we are also brave and curious. We want to be friends with everyone in this galaxy." There was silence. Then someone laughed. It was a harsh, ugly sound. Wu looked up and saw a large alien with red skin and 4 arms. It was pointing at him. "Friends," the red alien said. "Your kind cannot even stop fighting each other. What makes you think anyone here wants to be your friend?" Some other aliens laughed too. Wu felt their mockery, but he did not let it hurt him. "You are right," he said. "We do fight. We have wars and problems, but that is because we feel strongly about things. We care about our families, our homes, our dreams. Sometimes we make mistakes, but we always try to do better. That is what makes us human." The laughter stopped. Some aliens looked surprised. They did not expect him to agree with the insult. They did not expect him to turn it into something good. High above the other seats, in a special area with purple curtains, Princess watched everything. She was the daughter of the Emperor of the Empire. Her skin was pale blue and her hair was silver like moonlight. Her eyes were violet, bright and beautiful. She wore a dress made of fabric that sparkled like stars. Had seen many ambassadors come to the council. Most of them were boring. They said the same things. They promised the same promises. They were all afraid of the bigger empires. But this human was different. He was not afraid. He smiled when others laughed at him. He spoke the truth even when it was not pretty. There was something warm about him, something she had never seen in any alien before. She leaned forward to see him better. Her assistant, an old woman named Bora, noticed this. "Your Highness, is something wrong?" Bora asked. "No," said softly, "I am just interested." Down below, Wu continued speaking. He talked about Earth. He talked about its blue oceans and green forests. He talked about human music and art. He talked about how humans dreamed of exploring the stars since ancient times. The council listened. Not all of them were impressed, but some of them started to look at him differently. There was something special about this human. He was honest, he was brave, and he had a strange kind of light in his eyes. When he finished speaking, there was no applause. The council was too proud for that, but the silence was different now. It was not hostile, it was thoughtful. "The council will consider your words," the loud voice said. "You will stay in the guest area until we make our decision." Wu bowed slightly, "Thank you." As he was led out of the chamber, he looked up one more time. His eyes met the violet eyes of Princess. For a moment, they just looked at each other. Then Wu smiled at her. It was a simple, friendly smile. Felt her heart jump. No one had ever smiled at her like that. It was not a smile of fear or respect. It was a smile of warmth. A smile that said, "Hello, I see you." She did not smile back. She was too shocked, but she watched him until he disappeared through the door. That night could not sleep. She kept thinking about the human and his strange smile. 3 days passed after the council meeting. Wu stayed in the guest area of the space station. His room was comfortable but simple. It had a bed, a table, and a window that showed the stars. He spent most of his time reading about the different alien races and their customs. On the 4th day, a message came. The council wanted to see him again. Wu put on his uniform and followed the gray aliens back to the chamber. This time the room felt different. There was tension in the air. Many aliens were whispering to each other. Something was happening. The loud voice spoke. "Human ambassador, there is a problem. Some members of the council do not believe that your kind deserves a place among us. They say humans are too weak and too primitive." Wu stayed calm. "What would they like me to do?" A different voice answered. It was the red alien with 4 arms. He stood up in his seat and pointed at Wu. "I am general of the military alliance. I have fought in 100 wars. I have conquered 50 worlds. And I say that humans are nothing but soft creatures who got lucky. You have no real strength." The chamber was quiet. Everyone waited to see what Wu would say. "I understand your doubt," Wu said. "But strength is not just about fighting. Humans have survived many things. We have survived ice ages and plagues. We have survived wars with ourselves. We are still here because we never give up." General laughed. "Pretty words, but words are easy. I want to see proof. I challenge you, human. Complete the trials of worth. If you succeed, your planet can join the council. If you fail, Earth will never be allowed in the galactic community." A wave of gasps went through the chamber. The trials of worth were legendary. They were tests created long ago to judge if a species was ready for space civilization. Many had tried them. Few had succeeded. Wu did not know what the trials were, but he knew he could not say no. If he refused, humans would be seen as cowards forever. "I accept," he said. More gasps. The aliens could not believe it. This human had just agreed to the most difficult tests in the galaxy without even asking what they were. Up in her special seat, Princess felt her hands grip the armrest. She wanted to shout at him. She wanted to tell him he was being foolish. The trials of Worth had killed many strong warriors. How could a single human hope to survive? But she said nothing. She just watched as General smiled with evil satisfaction. "Very well," the general said. "The trials begin tomorrow. Prepare yourself, human. You will need it." That night could not stay in her room. She had to do something. She did not know why she cared so much about this human. She had only seen him twice, but something inside her told her to go to him. She put on a simple cloak to hide her royal dress. Then she walked through the quiet hallways of the station until she reached the guest area. She found Wu's door and knocked softly. The door opened. Wu looked surprised to see someone at this hour. When he saw her violet eyes under the hood, his surprise grew bigger. "Princess," he said quietly. Stepped inside quickly and closed the door. "Please, do not be so loud. I am not supposed to be here." Wu nodded. "Okay, why are you here?" Lowered her hood. Her silver hair fell around her shoulders. She looked at him with serious eyes. "You should not have accepted the trials," she said. "They are very dangerous. Many aliens have died trying to complete them. You do not know what you are facing." Wu smiled softly. "I know, but I had no choice. If I refused, my people would be shamed forever. I would rather die trying than live as a coward." Stared at him, she did not understand. "Why do you smile? Are you not afraid?" "Of course I am afraid," Wu said. "But fear is not a reason to stop. Fear is just a feeling. What matters is what you do with it." Was quiet for a moment. In her world, showing fear was a great weakness. Royal members were trained to hide all emotions. But this human spoke about fear like it was normal, like it was okay to be scared. "You are strange," she finally said. Wu laughed. It was a warm sound. "I have been told that before. Can you tell me about the trials? What will I face?" Sat down on a chair. She looked at the floor as she spoke. "There are 3 trials. The first is the trial of body. You must survive in a dangerous environment for 1 full day. It could be extreme heat, extreme cold, or deadly creatures. You will have no weapons." Wu listened carefully. "The second is the trial of mind. You must solve problems and puzzles that test your intelligence. Many species fail this one because they are strong but not smart." "And the third?" Looked up at him. "The trial of spirit. No one knows exactly what it is. It is different for everyone, but it tests your deepest self, your values, your heart. Many who passed the first 2 trials broke during the third." Wu nodded slowly. "Thank you for telling me. This helps a lot." Stood up. "I should go. If anyone finds out I was here, there will be trouble." She moved toward the door, but Wu spoke again. "Princess, can I ask you something?" She stopped. "What?" "Why did you come? You do not know me. You owe me nothing. Why help me?" Did not turn around. She did not know how to answer. Her heart was beating fast. "I do not know," she said honestly. "When you smiled at me in the chamber, it felt different. No one has ever looked at me like that, like I was just a person and not a princess." Wu walked closer to her. "That is because you are a person. The title is just a word." Finally turned. Their eyes met. She was very close to him now, close enough to see the small details of his face. He was not handsome in the way males were, but there was something about him, something warm and real. "You really are strange," she whispered. Wu smiled again. "Maybe, but strange is not always bad." Felt her cheeks grow warm. She had never felt this way before. It was confusing and scary, but also nice. "Good luck tomorrow," she said quickly. Then she opened the door and left. Wu watched her go. He stood there for a long time, thinking about the alien princess with violet eyes. The next morning, the trials began. Wu was taken to a large arena. Thousands of aliens filled the seats to watch. They wanted to see the human fail. General stood on a platform. He looked very pleased with himself. "The first trial is the trial of body. The human will be placed in a frozen wasteland. Temperature is 100 degrees below zero. He must survive for 24 hours. No weapons, no shelter, no help. The crowd cheered. They thought it was impossible. No one could survive such cold without protection. Wu was given simple clothes. Nothing warm, nothing special. He was pushed through a portal and found himself standing in a world of white. The cold hit him immediately. It was like being stabbed by 1,000 needles. His breath turned to ice in front of his face. The wind cut through his thin clothes. But Wu did not panic. He thought about what he knew. Humans had survived ice ages. His ancestors had lived through terrible winters. The knowledge was in his blood. He started moving. Standing still meant death. He looked for anything that could help. He found snow and started digging. He made a small hole in the ground and covered the top with packed snow. It was a basic shelter, just like humans used thousands of years ago. Inside the hole, the wind could not reach him. His body heat slowly warmed the small space. It was still cold, but it was survivable. For 24 hours, Wu fought to stay alive. He exercised to keep his blood moving. He melted snow in his hands and drank the water. He sang songs to keep his mind sharp. When the time ended, a portal opened. Wu walked through it and returned to the arena. The crowd was silent. They could not believe it. The human had survived. General's smile was gone. The first trial is complete. The human passes. High above, Princess let out a breath she did not know she was holding. Her hands were shaking. Wu looked up and found her eyes in the crowd. He gave her a small nod. Felt something strange in her chest. It felt like hope. The second trial came 3 days later. Wu used that time to rest and heal. His fingers and toes had been hurt by the cold, but the station's medical technology fixed them quickly. During those 3 days, Princess visited him twice more. Each time, she came late at night when no one could see her. They talked for hours about many things. Wu told her about Earth. He described the blue oceans and the green forests. He talked about cities full of lights and villages in quiet mountains. He told her about human food, human music, and human stories. Listened to everything with wide eyes. Her world was very different. The empire was cold and strict. Everyone followed rules. Everyone hid their feelings. There was no laughter or warmth. Humans sound very emotional, she said one night. Is that not dangerous? Do your feelings not cause problems? Wu thought about it. Sometimes, yes, strong feelings can lead to bad choices, but they also lead to beautiful things. Love, art, music, bravery. Without feelings, life would be empty. Did not fully understand, but she wanted to learn more. On her second visit, Wu decided to teach her something. Let me show you a human custom, he said with a smile. It is called a joke. A joke, repeated. The word felt strange on her tongue. Yes, it is something we say to make each other laugh. Laughter is very important to humans. It makes us feel happy and connected. Tilted her head. I do not think I have ever laughed. Wu's eyes grew wide. Never, not even once. People do not laugh. It is seen as weak and improper. Wu shook his head slowly. That is so sad. Okay, let me try a joke. Why did the star go to school? Thought hard, I do not know. Why? Because it wanted to be a little brighter. Silence stared at him with confusion. I do not understand, she said. Wu laughed. That is okay. Jokes take time to learn. The word bright has 2 meanings, smart and shiny. Stars are shiny, so the joke is about a star wanting to be smart. Process this. Oh, that is clever, I suppose. You will understand better with practice. Here, let me teach you another thing. It is a word we use for people we care about. He moved a little closer. When a human likes someone very much, they might call them sweetie or darling. These are words of affection. Sweetie repeated softly, darling. Yes, they are warm words. They make the other person feel special and loved. Felt her face grow warm. She was starting to learn that humans had many ways to show their feelings. It was so different from her cold, formal world. "Why are you teaching me these things?" she asked. Wu looked at her gently. "Because I want you to know what happiness feels like. You seem very lonely, princess, even with all your power and status." Could not speak. No one had ever seen through her like this. She was surrounded by servants and guards every day. But this human had found the truth in just a few conversations. "I should go," she said quickly. She stood up and moved to the door. Wu said. It was the first time he used her name without the title. She stopped but did not turn around. "Good luck tomorrow," she said, then she left. The next day, the arena was full again. Everyone wanted to see the trial of mind. General stood on his platform with a cold smile. "The second trial tests intelligence," he announced. "The human will face puzzles created by the greatest minds in the galaxy. He has 1 hour to solve them all. If he fails even one, he fails the trial." Wu was led to a small room with white walls. There was a chair and a table with a screen on it. The door closed behind him. A voice spoke from nowhere. "You will receive 10 puzzles. You have 6 minutes for each. Begin." The first puzzle appeared on the screen. It was a mathematical problem with symbols Wu had never seen before, but he studied the patterns. He found the logic. He solved it with 2 minutes to spare. The second puzzle was about language. He had to decode a message written in an alien code. Wu used his knowledge of human languages to find patterns. He cracked it. The third puzzle was about space. He had to calculate the path of a spaceship through a dangerous asteroid field. Wu remembered his training as a pilot. He found the safe route. Puzzle after puzzle, he worked through them. Some were easy, some made him sweat, but he did not give up. The 9th puzzle was the hardest. It was a philosophical question with no clear answer. A ship carries 100 lives. You can save the ship by sacrificing 10 lives, or you can do nothing and risk losing everyone. What do you do? Wu thought carefully. This was not about math or logic. This was about values. He typed his answer. "I would find a third option. I would look for a way to save everyone. Humans do not accept impossible choices. We fight to make the impossible possible." There was a long pause. Then the screen flashed green. He passed. The 10th puzzle was strange. It showed a picture of a flower and asked, "What is this?" Wu almost laughed. Was this a trick? He typed, "A flower. It is a living thing that grows from the ground. It is beautiful and fragile. Many species see flowers as symbols of hope and new beginnings." Another long pause, then green again. The voice spoke. "All puzzles complete. Time used 52 minutes. Trial passed." Wu let out a deep breath. His hands were shaking, but he was smiling. When he walked back into the arena, the crowd was different. Some aliens were still hostile, but many looked at him with new respect. A human had done what many of their own kind could not. General was not smiling anymore. His red face looked angry. "The second trial is complete," he said through clenched teeth. "The human passes." That night came to Wu's room again. This time, she did not try to hide her happiness. "You did it," she said. Her violet eyes were bright. "You solved all the puzzles." Wu nodded. He looked tired but happy. It was hard, especially the 9th one. "The sacrifice question, what did you answer?" "I said I would find another way. Humans do not like being told something is impossible. We always try to do better." Sat down across from him. "That is very human of you. Most species would choose the logical answer. Save the majority, sacrifice the few." "Logic is not everything," Wu said. "Sometimes the heart knows better than the mind." Was quiet for a moment, then she spoke softly. "Wu, I have been thinking about the things you taught me. The jokes, the words of affection. I want to understand them better." Wu leaned forward. "What do you want to know?" "The word sweetie. You said it is used for someone you care about, do you? Have someone you call that, someone on Earth? Wu smiled gently. No, I have no family, no partner. I was chosen for this mission partly because I had nothing to lose. Felt something in her chest, relief, happiness, she did not know. I see, she said quietly. They sat in comfortable silence. The stars outside the window sparkled like diamonds. The last trial is tomorrow, finally said. The trial of spirit. I am worried. No one knows what you will face. Wu nodded. I know, but I have made it this far. I will not give up now. Stood up, she walked to the door, then stopped. She turned back to look at him. Wu, whatever happens tomorrow, I want you to know that you have already changed things. The way the Council sees humans is different now. You have given your people a chance. Wu stood up too. He walked over to her. They were very close now. Thank you for everything. Your visits have meant a lot to me. Felt her heart beating fast. She wanted to say something. She wanted to tell him how she felt, but the words would not come. Instead, she just looked into his eyes, and for one moment the universe felt very small, like it was just the two of them. Good night, she whispered. Good night, princess. She left, her mind full of thoughts and feelings she did not understand. Wu watched the door close. He stood there for a long time, thinking about the alien princess with silver hair and violet eyes. Whatever the final trial brought, he knew one thing for certain. He was not just fighting for Earth anymore. He was fighting for something more. The morning of the final trial arrived. The arena was more crowded than ever before. Aliens from every corner of the galaxy had come to watch. News of the human who passed the first two trials had spread everywhere. Wu stood in the center of the arena. He felt calm. Whatever was coming, he was ready. But before the trial could begin, something happened. The lights in the arena suddenly went dark. Alarms started screaming. Red emergency lights flashed everywhere. A loud explosion shook the entire station. People screamed and ran in all directions. Guards rushed to their positions. General shouted into his communicator, "What is happening? Report." A voice answered through the speakers. "We are under attack. Unknown ships have surrounded the station. They are firing on us." Chaos filled the arena. Aliens pushed and shoved each other trying to escape. The walls shook as more explosions hit the station. Wu looked around. Through the confusion, he saw Princess. She was standing with her guards, but her face was pale with fear. He shouted. She turned and saw him. Their eyes met across the crowded arena. Another explosion hit very close. Part of the ceiling fell down. Guards were knocked away. A piece of metal fell toward her. Wu did not think. He ran. He pushed through the crowd. He threw himself at and knocked her out of the way just as the metal crashed down where she had been standing. They rolled on the ground together. Wu held her close, protecting her with his body as debris fell around them. "Are you okay?" he asked, looking at her face. Was breathing hard. Her violet eyes were wide. "Yes, you saved me." Wu helped her stand up. "We need to get out of here. Where is your ship?" "The royal docking area, this way." They ran through the destroyed hallways. Emergency lights barely lit their path. They passed injured aliens and burning wreckage. The station was falling apart. "Who is attacking us?" Wu asked as they ran. "I do not know," said, "but those ships, they looked like they belonged to the Dark Union." The Dark Union. A group of extremists. They believe that weaker species should be eliminated. They have been quiet for many years. I do not understand why they attack now. They reached the royal docking area. Ship was there, sleek and beautiful, but standing in front of it was a group of armed aliens. Their armor was black and their weapons glowed red. One of them stepped forward. He was tall with pale skin and cold eyes. "Princess of the Empire," he said, "you will come with us. Your father will pay a great price to get you back." "Step back," Wu moved in front of her. "She is not going anywhere," he said. The pale alien looked at him with disgust. "A human! You dare stand against us, kill him." 3 soldiers moved forward with their weapons raised. Wu had no weapon. He had no armor. He was just a man in a simple uniform. But he did not step aside. The first soldier attacked. Wu dodged and grabbed his arm. He used the soldier's own strength to throw him into the second one. They both fell down. The third soldier fired his weapon. Wu rolled to the side. The shot missed. He grabbed a piece of broken metal from the floor and threw it at the soldier's hand. The weapon fell away. Wu moved fast. He hit the third soldier hard and knocked him down. He picked up the fallen weapon and pointed it at the pale alien leader. "I said she is not going anywhere." The pale alien's eyes were wide with shock. A human had just beaten 3 of his soldiers with no weapons. What are you?" he whispered. Wu's eyes were hard. "I am a human, and we protect the people we care about." More Dark Union soldiers were coming down the hallway. There were too many to fight. "Get to the ship," Wu said. "I will hold them off." No grabbed his arm. "I will not leave you." "You have to. You are important. Your people need you. Go." His eyes filled with tears. She had never cried before, but seeing this human ready to die for her broke something inside her. "Wu." He looked at her and smiled. Even now, facing death, he smiled. "It is okay," he said softly. "Meeting you was worth everything." Suddenly, more shots were fired, but they were not aimed at Wu. The Dark Union soldiers started falling. Someone was attacking them from behind. General appeared with a squad of council guards. His 4 arms held powerful weapons that blazed with fire. "Go," the general shouted. "Get to the ship. We will handle these terrorists." Wu did not waste time asking questions. He grabbed his hand and pulled her to the ship. They ran up the ramp and into the cockpit. "Can you fly this?" asked. Wu sat in the pilot's seat. The controls were alien, but the basic idea was the same. "I will figure it out." He pressed buttons and pulled levers. The ship hummed to life. The ramp closed. Through the window, they saw General and his guards fighting the Dark Union soldiers. The ship lifted off the ground. Wu found the exit and flew out of the docking area. They burst into space just as another explosion hit the station. "We made it," breathed. But they were not safe yet. Dark Union ships were everywhere, firing at the station and at any ship trying to escape. "Hold on," Wu said. He pushed the ship into a sharp turn. Enemy fire flew past them. He dodged and weaved through the chaos with skill that surprised even himself. Watched him fly. His face was focused and calm. His hands moved with confidence. He was not scared, he was fighting. "There," she pointed. "The jump gate. If we can reach it, we can escape." The jump gate was far away. Many enemy ships stood between them and freedom. Wu pushed the engines to maximum. The ship screamed through space. Enemy ships chased them, firing constantly. A shot hit their ship. Alarms rang. Something was damaged. "We are losing power," cried. "We can make it," Wu said. "Just a little more." The jump gate was close now, so close. But their ship was slowing down. The damage was too much. "We will not make it," said. Her voice was flat with despair. Wu looked at her. "Do you trust me?" She met his eyes. Despite everything, despite the danger and the fear, she felt safe with him. "Yes," she said. Wu pressed more buttons. He was sending a signal. "What are you doing?" asked. "Calling for help." A moment later, another ship appeared. It was small and fast, human design. It was Wu's ship from Earth. The small ship flew between them and the enemy. It fired its weapons, creating a wall of explosions. The enemy ships had to slow down to avoid the fire. "Go," Wu shouted at. "Take the controls, fly to the gate." "What about you?" Wu stood up. "I set my ship to automatic, but someone needs to make sure it keeps fighting long enough for you to escape." "No, Wu, you cannot." He looked at her with gentle eyes. Your people need you. The galaxy needs you. You are a princess. You can make real change. I am just one human." Tears fell down Blue's cheeks. "You are not just one human. You are everything." Wu reached out and touched her face. His hand was warm. "Go," he said softly, "live. And remember that humans are not just brave, we also love. I am very glad I met you, princess." He ran to the airlock. He was going to transfer to his ship. But before he could open the door, a bright light filled the space outside. A huge ship emerged from nowhere. It was a warship, the biggest class they had. A voice came through the radio. "This is Emperor of the Empire. All Dark Union ships will stand down immediately or be destroyed." More ships appeared, then ships from the Alliance, then ships from other Council races. A massive fleet had arrived. The Dark Union ships tried to run, but they were surrounded. One by one, they surrendered or were destroyed. Wu stood frozen at the airlock door. They were saved. Flew to him and threw her arms around him. She held him tight. "You foolish human," she whispered through her tears. "You are going to die for me." Wu held her back. "Of course, that is what you do for someone you care about." They stood there holding each other as the stars burned around them. The war was not over, but in that moment they had each other, and that was enough. The battle was over. The Dark Union had been defeated. The space station was damaged but still standing. Rescue ships moved through the wreckage, saving survivors and collecting the wounded. Wu and were brought to the Emperor's flagship. Emperor himself wanted to meet the human who had saved his daughter. They walked through golden hallways with guards on every side, had changed into her royal dress. She looked every bit the princess she was, but she stayed close to Wu, not wanting to leave his side. The throne room was huge. Pillars of crystal reached up to a ceiling painted with stars. At the end of the room sat Emperor. He was older, with silver hair like his daughter and eyes that had seen many years. Wu bowed respectfully. "Your Majesty." The Emperor studied him for a long moment. His face showed no emotion. "You are the human," he finally said. "The one who completed 2 of the 3 trials, the one who saved my daughter." "I did what anyone would do, Your Majesty." "No," the Emperor's voice was firm. "Not anyone. Many have had the chance to save a royal life. Most do not take it. The risk is too great, the reward too small, but you ran into danger without thinking. You fought armed soldiers with nothing but your hands. You were ready to die." Wu stayed silent. "Why?" the Emperor asked. "Why would a human risk everything for an alien princess he barely knows?" Wu thought about the question. He could give a diplomatic answer. He could talk about duty and honor, but he decided to tell the truth. "Because she is worth saving," he said simply. "Not because she is a princess, but because she is curious and brave. She came to help me when she did not have to. She taught me about her world. She trusted me. How could I not protect someone like that?" The throne room was silent. The guards looked shocked. No one spoke to the Emperor this way. But Emperor did something unexpected. He smiled. It was a small smile, barely visible, but it was real. "My daughter told me about you," he said. "She told me about your conversations, your jokes, your strange human words of affection. She said you made her feel something she had never felt before." His face turned deep purple, the version of blushing. "Father," she said quietly, embarrassed. The Emperor ignored her. "The way is cold. We hide our emotions. We believe it makes us strong, but I am old now. I have seen much. And I have learned that hiding feelings does not make them go away. It only makes us lonely." He stood up from his throne and walked down the steps toward Wu. "Human, you have shown the galaxy something important today. You showed that courage is not about being fearless. It is about acting despite fear. You showed that strength is not about power. It is about protecting others. And you showed that connection between species is possible, not through politics or treaties, but through simple kindness and care." He stopped in front of Wu. The Council has made a decision. Earth is accepted into the galactic community. You do not need to complete the third trial. Your actions during the attack were proof enough of human spirit. Wu felt his heart lift. He had done it. His people were accepted. Earth had a future among the stars. Thank you, Your Majesty. The Emperor nodded. Then he looked at his daughter. Come here. Walked forward nervously. She stood beside Wu, not knowing what her father would say. I have always wanted you to be strong, the Emperor said, to be a perfect princess, to rule with wisdom and power. But watching you these past days, I realized I was wrong. You do not need to be perfect. You need to be happy. His eyes filled with tears again. If this human makes you happy, the Emperor continued, then I will not stand in the way. The old rules are old for a reason. It is time for new ways. He turned and walked back to his throne. At the top of the steps, he turned around one more time. But he better take good care of you, or human or not, I will find him. Despite everything, Wu smiled. I understand, Your Majesty. 1 week later, the council held a grand ceremony. It was a celebration of peace and unity. The Dark Union threat had brought the different species together. Old enemies had fought side by side. New alliances were formed. The great council chamber was decorated with lights and banners from every world. Music played from species who had never shared their songs before. Aliens who had never spoken to each other were now talking and laughing. Wu stood on the central platform. He was wearing a new uniform, dark blue with Earth's symbol, and a new mark that showed his status as a galactic ambassador. Beside him stood General. The big red alien had changed after the battle. He had seen Wu fight. He had seen a human risk everything to save others. His old prejudice was gone. I was wrong about your kind, said gruffly. You humans are small and soft, but you have something most species do not, heart. Wu smiled. Thank you, General, that means a lot coming from you. Grunted, do not let it go to your head. The crowd parted. Princess walked toward the platform. She was beautiful beyond words. Her dress sparkled like a river of stars. Her silver hair flowed behind her. Her violet eyes were fixed on Wu. She climbed the steps and stood facing him. The whole galaxy was watching. For a moment, they just looked at each other. Everything they had been through together was in that look. The fear, the danger, the quiet conversations in the middle of the night, the trust that had grown between them. Wu felt his heart beating fast. He had faced trials that almost killed him. He had fought soldiers and survived attacks, but nothing scared him more than this moment. He decided to be brave one more time. Hey, sweetie, he said softly, so only she could hear. His face turned that deep purple color again. Her eyes went wide. Her mouth opened and closed without sound. The galaxy's most powerful princess, the woman who had never shown emotion in public, was completely flustered by two simple words. You, she whispered, you cannot just in front of everyone. Wu's smile grew wider. Why not? I meant it. Looked at him. She saw his warm eyes, his gentle smile, his complete honesty. He was not playing games. He was not using politics. He simply cared about her and was not afraid to show it. In that moment, made a decision. She had spent her whole life being proper and cold. She had followed every rule. She had hidden every feeling. But Wu had taught her something better. He had taught her that feelings were not weakness, that showing your heart was the bravest thing you could do. She took a deep breath. Yes, darling, she said. Her voice was clear enough for those nearby to hear. Wu blinked in surprise. He had not expected her to respond. They looked at each other. The proud alien princess and the simple human ambassador, two people from different worlds who had found something special together. And then they laughed. It started small, a giggle from, a chuckle from Wu, but it grew. They laughed together, real and pure and happy. The sound filled the chamber. The aliens watching did not understand at first. The people were shocked. Their princess was laughing, in public. This had never happened before. But the laughter was infectious. Soon others started smiling. Some began to laugh too. The sound spread through the chamber like a wave. General shook his head with a smile. "Humans," he muttered, but there was no anger in his voice. Emperor watched from his seat. For the first time in many years, he felt hope for the future. His daughter had found happiness. The galaxy had found peace. And it had all started with one human who refused to give up. Wu took's hand. She held on tight. "I love you," he said. The words felt right. Looked at him with shining eyes. "I love you too, even though you are strange. Especially because I am strange." They laughed again. The galaxy had never seen anything like this. A human and a princess standing together, laughing together, loving together. It was the beginning of something new. A new era of friendship between species. A new understanding that differences could be bridges, not walls. A new hope that the universe was big enough for everyone. And it all started with a simple word. "Hey, sweetie," Wu had said. "Yes, darling," she had replied. And then they both laughed. The end.